Hey everybody, welcome back to Summit for the 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. My name is Mark. Good to see you. Well, I can't see you. You can see, you get how it goes. Okay. Saying you love somebody is really easy to do. You're walking out the door, love you mom, love you dad, you get on the phone, love you. You know, it's easy, right? Texting somebody, love you, it's easy. But really loving somebody, I mean in your actions, and the things you do and don't do, now that, kind of tricky. It's where it gets kind of dicey. It's a little harder, right? I mean, to say it, easy. To live it, hard. These readings this week are trying to remind us that, you know what? Love is seen in our actions. It's not about saying, I love you, God, with our words, but showing we love him with our actions. It's not about saying, I love you to your neighbor, to your sibling, to your parent, to your spouse, to your coworker, your friend, your school, whatever. It's about your actions. In this first reading in Exodus, Moses is getting really, really practical because God's getting really practical. He's saying, listen, you can't treat people one way and say that you're a different way. Okay, you have to show it in your actions the way you love people. And your actions really, really matter. And that's why in the second reading, it sounds almost egotistical because Paul's talking, he's like, hey, when you want to learn how to live the gospel, look at us. Now that sounds like really, really, really egotistical and really self-centered and really vain. I mean, come on, Paul, what are you doing, dude? I mean, you want to figure out how to be like Jesus? Be like me. No. Because he's trying to explain to them at the time, people are trying to figure out what Christianity is and what it looks like and what it means to follow Jesus that rose from the dead. This is, remember, when St. Paul's writing this is decades after the resurrection. So St. Paul is trying to say, okay, when you're looking around trying to figure out how to live, okay, look at us. Look at what we're trying to do. He was not being egotistical. He's actually being really, really thoughtful and very practical. Look, just do what we do, the way we pray, and don't do what we don't do, right? When it comes to sinning, just try to do what we're trying to do, okay? We're trying to lead you guys, just try to be like us. But see, it's about actions. Paul could have sat there and been like, hey, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, and then gone out the door and done it himself and be a total hypocrite. But Paul understood that he had a responsibility to live out in his actions what it meant to be a Christian. And that's what he's calling us to do. Still today, 2,000 years later, his letters are still calling us out about the way we're living Monday through Sunday, or Sunday through Saturday, or however you want to dice it up, right? Now, when it comes to the Gospels, this is where Jesus, and we're going to have several weeks now where Jesus is going to go toe-to-toe with the Pharisees. And man, the Pharisees, how Jesus did not lose his mind, I mean, I can't figure it out. That's because he's God, right? He's perfect. I would have lost my mind with the Pharisees. But constantly the Pharisees are trying to trap Jesus. What about this? Well, if you love this person this way, what about this way? And they keep trying to get these war of words with him, these mental wars with him. And he keeps showing through his actions, through his mercy, through his patience, through his bluntness when necessary, always speaking truth. He keeps showing them, listen, it's really simple, okay, guys? Well, which commandment's most important? Rate them for us, rank them for us, put them in order. And they're trying to get Jesus to go back and somehow almost edit Moses and the commandments. And Jesus looks and goes, look, love God and then love everybody else, okay? Because that really is the commandments. The first 3 commandments are about loving God. The next 7 are about loving everybody else. So he walks up, he doesn't edit Moses. He doesn't cancel Moses. He doesn't say he was wrong. He's like, no, look, I'll boil this down even more, right? He gave you 10, I'll give you 2. Love God and love others. It's really not that simple. It's really not that difficult. It's pretty simple, right? Is it that simple though? Do you love God with all your heart and all your mind, all your soul, all your strength? Every minute, every day? I don't. I need to. I'm trying to. We all need help. I mean, his help to do that. Do you love your neighbors, your siblings, classmates, coworkers, mom and dad, spouse? Do you love others the way Christ loves you? Do you love them as though they were Jesus himself? It's really not, at the end of the day, that hard. We're the ones that make it hard because we're sinful and we're selfish. But at the end of the day, these readings, they're saying? Just love people. Don't be selfish. Don't take advantage of people. You say you're a Christian, St. Paul's saying, live like a Christian. Let people look at you and say, you know what? Something's different about that guy. Something's different about that girl. Live in such a way that people look at you and they see Jesus. Wake up today and say, I'm going to love you, God, and I love my neighbor. I'm going to love you, God, and I love my neighbor. And before you go to sleep every night, Think about your day. Did I love God? Did I love my neighbor? We make this more difficult than it really is. But don't just say, I love you. Live every day. Live, I love you.